Radio. And Tom and I are very excited this morning because we are being joined by John Berry, a writer of Tachwedd, which is coming right here to Milford Haven at the Torch Theatre. Bore and Croeso.
Bore da. Hello, both.
Thank you so much for joining us. You're opening your show right here at the westest point of Wales, Tachwedd, and we were going to be joined by Jack. You of course are the writer, the director, Jack. But you're just telling us off air it's been a baby-heavy show.
Yeah, there's been a surprising number of babies being born over the course of this production. So he's a bit wrapped up with his newborn son. So it's been great. We're really starting them off young, you know.
I suppose we'll let him off then if there's baby needs that are going on. But John, Tachwedd, we've been sharing the promo video. It's coming to the Torch Theatre tomorrow and up to the weekend. Give us a bit of an overview, a bit of a synopsis as to what we can expect.
Yeah, so it's a play set over 2,000 years, which sounds massive, and it is massive, I think. But it's this kind of story of fate, I think, is the best way to describe it. It's a story of lots and lots of different people through history trying to kind of figure out where they are in the world, and when things start to change and push on them, they start pushing back. So we've got lots of different kind of smaller stories all wrapping around each other to tell this larger story about that kind of feeling that you get when you realize that there was a world before you, and now you've got to kind of figure out what you're going to do with that. So that's kind of I don't want to give too much away, but that's the kind of biggest overarching theme, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose there's this pressure on our shoulders. Every generation, you're here to kind of move forward in the world, and you've got your fathers and your forefathers and everyone behind you. Oh, you must do things a certain way. But actually, we're free to do our own thing. And of course, the world takes its own turn. This play came out of lockdown, you were just saying.
Yeah, I started writing it about 5 years ago, which is really crazy. It's been a really long time in my head. And one of the most amazing things about it, like actually coming to life now, is realizing that it doesn't just exist in my head anymore, and it's now going to be on stage, and there are people who are saying the lines, and there are other people making it work, and so it's been a really long time coming for me. It's been a lot of work, and a lot of really good kind of interactions with people to help it get to where it is. So it's been it's been a long old haul, this one.
Yeah. And you were saying it's a relatively small crew, 12 in total, and you've got 4 actors that are taking on the roles of Tachwedd. But it's not just 4 characters that we're going to be introduced to.
No, there's about, last count, I think there's 20.
Wow.
It's seen a lot of different versions, and at one point there were probably 35 plus different characters that I was trying to make these actors in the future when it would eventually be put on perform as, which is, I think, the number that we have is a task enough. I think that would have been a bit crazy. So it's about 20 different characters, I think.
Wow. And how are the actors coming to terms with having to morph themselves into these different people from, it's predominantly North Wales, isn't it? Bethesda up in North Wales, and all these different accents coming down south.
Yeah, it's all set in like one, not even a square mile. It's just like all set in the one very specific location. And the actors have been incredible. They have been, from the get-go, they've been really committed, and really they've approached it with a real care, which speaks to, I think, to the craft of it. And for me, working with actors like that is one of the best parts of the job. You get to see how people engage with these words on a page, really, and bring them to life, and make them feel like they're really real and these people really existed. And it's been amazing. They've been wonderful, all 4 of them.
And with 20 characters to bring to life, I imagine there is a breadth of character. If you go and see this performance over the next couple of days, you're going to recognize someone in your neighborhood. Is that part of the plan?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the stuff that's kind of, prehistory hunter-gatherer stuff, maybe less so. But the things that are a bit more contemporary, I don't know. I don't know what your neighbours are like. Mine, they could be, they could be that kind of person. Yeah, hopefully there's some recognition. I'm really hoping the specifics of where it's set. Obviously there's a real kind of detail there, but I think that what I try to do is to make something where one part of the story at the very minimum will really resonate for everyone in Wales. I want it to feel like that. I feel like there's something really specific that happens in Wales and the way that we relate to each other that I'm trying to capture, basically. So yeah, I would hope that if people come and see it, which I really hope you should come and see it, it would be great. I'm going to be there all through the run here. So if people notice me, I'm 6'3". I'm quite easy to notice. So yeah, I'm hoping people recognize something of each other and of themselves in it. Yeah.
The thing that jumps out from the little short blurb that we've got here is the family farm struggle, and maybe that tradition that has come from many years ago and come up to the modern day. Is that highlighted in the show?
Hugely. One of the key kind of strands is this idea that there's this family farm at the turn of industrialization in North Wales, and they are faced with essentially the potential to sell the farm or not. And there's this one moment where the father of the family is reading out the names of the fields, and that's like very specifically Welsh tradition to name those fields, and those names have so much meaning. And when I was researching to write that part, it really struck me of the relationship that people who are farming the land have specifically to those places, and that felt really important to highlight for me. It felt like that story doesn't really get told. I mean, a little bit in Ireland with the Irish tradition, but in Wales, it's like that kind of farming tradition very rarely sees the light of day. So that was a really important thing for me to bring.
Yeah, you mentioned there the actors take on these pride of taking these stories and sharing these poignant moments throughout the intertwining ropes, as described in the promo video. But I'm getting a sense that there's a lot of pride from yourself telling these Welsh stories as well.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. This is a Welsh play through and through. I mean, we have an almost exclusively Welsh cast and crew, and the majority of the cast and crew are Welsh speaking. So we're in a really good position in terms of those kinds of things. But for me as well, so the play was commissioned by Theatre 503 in London, and the kind of process was that I would pitch them something, and then they would essentially take me or not. And when I pitched it to them, my pitch was quite aggressive, really, to be honest, which was, you call yourself a British theatre and that you're producing British work, and you haven't done anything Welsh for ages. And why is that? We have really great stories, and that's where it comes from, I think. And I kept that energy throughout. So this is a really important kind of step for me, and hopefully for the rest of kind of Welsh theatre culture, to have a conversation about Welsh stories and to try and move the needle and start talking about other places and other identities and other things that have been coming through. And there's a few people who are writing today that I think are doing that as well. So I'm hoping that I can add to that conversation,
Amazing. But of course, this production is going to be in the medium of English. So if there's any people watching it thinking, I'm a bit intimidated by it being all Welsh, it is actually an English language play, but telling Welsh stories.
Yeah, 100%. All in English. We have the little joke of, we're actually speaking Welsh, but there's nothing actually.
John, I cannot wait to hear people's responses to this. It opens tomorrow in the Torch Theatre. It's there running until the 28th, and then it's moving to London to Theatre 503, as you mentioned there. Tickets from the box office at the Torch Theatre, you can either ring up or find them online, and you're going to see it all the way through, non-stop, John. That's very exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It'd be great to see people there, as I said. Very recognizable. I'm a lanky so-and-so, so you can catch me from wherever I am, even in the dark.
Yeah. So do go and say hello.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amazing. Tachwedd comes to the Torch Theatre tomorrow until the 28th September. John, the writer, is going to be there. John, thank you so much for joining us here on the Gina Tom Breakfast Show with Folly Farm. Wishing a great big break a leg to all cast and crew before you transfer back to London.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
You've got a song for us as well.
I have. This is a song I listened to a lot when I was writing this by a fantastic Welsh band who I'm sure we all know.
It's Johnny Come Lately, Catatonia. It's up next here. It's 10 to 9 on Pure West Radio.
Get your annual pass today for